Hello and welcome back to the Private Legal Masters YouTube channel. My name is Tim. If you're new here, I've sold over $60 million on Amazon in the past 5 years or so. And in the last 12 months, I've sold over $20 million. This channel is dedicated to starting and scaling an Amazon business. I try to give you behind the scenes of what I'm doing in my business and also just random topics that can help you start and scale your own Amazon business. So today we are talking a little bit higher level topic, and that's team. All right, team. I want to break down why team is important, how I structure my team, and maybe some tips that you can have as you go and build your Amazon business. Now, when you first get into Amazon, your goal is just to get one product going, right? Learn the skill set, get one product going, and start making some money, perhaps leave the 9-to-5, something like that. But as you continue to grow your Amazon business, your goals kind of change, and also kind of how you run your business is going to have to change and pivot with it. So when you have one product, it's really easy to keep your eye on it and to kind of watch it all the time. But once you start getting more and more and more and more, lots of moving parts now, and you are required to have a team, all right? Or else you just will put a ceiling on what you can do. Now, one of the things I love about Amazon is you can have a remote team. You don't need an actual physical office, and you don't need that many bodies to run a crazy amount of business, right? So I just mentioned how last year we did $20 million in sales, and we only have 5 people on the team, right? And actually 2 of them were hired in the last 3 months. So we technically only really had 3 people besides myself to run a $20 million a year business. So that's the way I like to run my business. I know there's some who, they have offices in China and they have offices in the US and they have hundreds of employees and they're doing, big numbers. But for myself, I really want to be more like the Navy SEALs, the Green Beret, right? A select individual team that are excellent at what they do, and we all harmoniously work together and kill it, all right? So a little bit more about team. As you start to build your business, it really comes down to from a very zoomed out view. It's like you have products or services or whatever your business does, and then you build a team around it. The people who are going to win have the best product and the best team. And essentially, when you step back, it's that team and their product versus your team and your product. And on a high level, that's what it looks like, especially when you get into more competitive niches and things like that. They're actual bigger businesses with teams who put a lot of time and effort into it, and they all work together. And you can accomplish a lot more with a team. Now, I see a lot of people have a hard time getting past a certain level in their business because they don't know how to delegate, they don't know how to have trust, they don't know how to hire, they don't know how to train. But those are essential things for you to take your business to the next level. Now, one other thing I do want to mention about team is it's important that you learn a lot of these skills before you then go out and hire for them. Okay, if you have 1 to 5 products, there's no reason that you need to have a PPC team. There's no reason that you need to have a bunch of hires if you just have 1 or 3 products or something like that. You should be able to run your whole business by yourself with minimal hours of day of focused work. However, I will say, if let's say you're starting off with PPC or you're starting off with product research, the issue that I see happen a lot of times with newer sellers is they start working at it and they find it kind of difficult and they say, I just better hire this out. But they don't even know how to do it themselves. And so they have no clue the people they're hiring, are they any good or not? Whereas you have another type of entrepreneur and they learn the skill sets. Then when they go to hire, they know, does this person actually know what they're doing? And they can actually find people who are just raw talent, who are just very smart, capable, they learn very well, and they work hard. And with such moldable clay like that, if you know how to do the task and how to accomplish it and you're good at it, it's really easy then to go ahead, and train, and then you're able to build the team that way. But again, you need to learn how to do most of these skill sets before you can really build a good team. So the question comes up, Tim, how's your team built? All right, so this video, I'm going to jump on to a screen share of kind of like a whiteboard, and you can see the different structure of my team currently as it is, and it's evolved to this point. See what each of the different parts do and how it all kind of works together. And hopefully you can get some ideas for how to build your team in the future, or if you're or if you have a team right now, it's really confusing, maybe you can kind of use this structure to help you kind of modify your team. we are going to connect all the different positions that are on the team right now. Remember, this is how it sits right now. You may come back, or I may come back in a month, 2 weeks, a year from now and make another one of these videos and the team structure looks completely different. But this is how it looks right now, okay? So head of the snake, this would be myself. I'm just going to put here Tim, and I'm just going to put CEO. Now, the things that fall under my realm is visionary, right? And also product research, cash flow, high-level tactical, and then also supplier initial negotiations. Okay, so let's go through each one of these real quick. So when we're talking about visionary, we're looking at where, you know, as the team structure goes down, it's going to be a more zoomed in position on minutia, on specific tasks, all right? And being the head of your team and the visionary, you need to have the zoomed out look. I mean, you're going to have people on your team that are like, when you look at the forest, they're going to be at the base of a tree with a magnifying glass, all right? Whereas you as the CEO, and for myself, I'm the guy who steps back and I'm up on top of a mountain looking at the forest, seeing how we're going to navigate through it and which direction we're going to go, okay? So that's what I'm saying visionary. I'm not looking out 2 months, 6 months, 1 year. I'm looking further in the future where we're trying to go with all our brands and what direction, all right? Next thing we have here that falls under me is product research. Product research falls under my wheelhouse because I feel very confident in it. I've had a lot of good success with it. I've sourced over 170 different SKUs, and I have like a 98% success rate. When it comes to cash flow, I'm the guy who is knowing how much is in the account, when we're getting paid, when payments are due, all that kind of stuff to make sure the whole machine can keep running financially. Next thing is the high-level tactical. That kind of goes in line with visionary, but also visionary is kind of, I would say, just more overreaching type thoughts, whereas tactical is like, okay, so we are going to take this brand and we are going to make this move, and then I pass it down to the next team member, say execute that, all right? So that's more like the high-level tactical. And finally, supplier initial negotiations. After I found the product, I looked at samples. Sometimes I'll ask one of the team members to try to like get their viewpoint on that. That's when I go to negotiations. And since I have quite a bit of experience with the negotiation aspect, I like to first go in there. I make that first initial supplier contact, build that rapport with them, that guanxi, that relationship building with them. And then I really start like building the base of where we're going to start with our pricing when we first contact them going forward. All right. And then after that initial contact, the initial development of the product, negotiations, that's when I then pass on supplier communications to another team member. All right. So that's me. Let's move on to the next team member. This is going to be Aaron. All right. Aaron, things in his wheelhouse, I'm just going to put in here logistics. That would include things like all shipments that need to be created, right, within Seller Central, all labels. This would be supplier contact. After I have that initial contact, this would be 3PLs that we work with. This would also we have one brand that's FBM'd. He is in constant communication with that warehouse, which is different than one of our other 3PLs. This would also be overall inventory management. All right. So right now he's already looking at Q4 orders. He looks at what he thinks that we need to order based on last year, based on the growth of our different brands, new product lines, different seasons for which products will do well. He comes to me with a spreadsheet. Hey, Tim, this is what we need to order. This is what I calculate. Here's why. This is what the deposits are going to be, when we need to make those deposits by, and also how much the balance payments are going to be. All right. Another thing he takes care of is VAT. All right. Because we do sell in the EU. That kind of falls under the whole logistics thing. Now, this is a lot. Now, if you have one product, this isn't very much, but I want to give you just an idea of what he has to do. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at, here's kind of one of the ways that we organize our orders as a team. You can see how many orders we're doing. Over here, we have suppliers. We have the order number, which market it's in, the order date, the deposit amount, the balance payment amount, the ETA of the shipment, the balance due date, if we pay the deposit, if we pay the balance, and also the Alibaba link, right? So you can see here by the order date, the amount of shipments that he is making. All right. It's, every week or so, he's making a ton of shipments. You can see the quantities, all the orders that were made December 3rd, December 9th, December 22nd, all of these shipments. Now, one shipment isn't just one ASIN. A lot of times it's multiple ASINs that we've put together that will fit a 40-foot container perfectly, or a 20-foot container, or we've scheduled with different suppliers who are in the same port city or in and around each other. It takes a lot of organization to put all this together. But you can see here, just by the order dates and the quantities of the payment, the dollar amounts, that these are a lot of shipments that are coming. Now, the next position that we have on the team, let me put a plus here. This is Aurora. All right. Now, Aurora, I would say, is kind of like an account manager and one of the main operators. And what falls under her is, I talked about how I have a zoomed out view. Now take one step lower, and that's where Aurora is checking out. So she's not quite all the way in the forest all the time. She comes out of the forest, takes a look around, game plans with me, then goes back in the forest and starts executing. And also, she manages those underneath her, okay? And we'll talk about who is underneath Aurora. So she is all freelancer contact. Let's say we need photos. Let's say we need copy. Let's say we need to have a new package design. She is coordinating all of that. She's very creative, so it really helps. So I just say, hey, we need some package design. Can you go get some examples? Let me know what you think. Then we can come back together and then we corroborate on it and we say, hey, back to the drawing board. We say, let's move forward with that. All right. You name it. Also, anything that has to do with EBC, storefronts, Amazon posts. She also takes care of watching all the EU accounts. And you may say, well, what's EU? We're talking all international accounts. So we're going to say Canada, Italy, Germany, Spain, UK. This is translations. This is all this. This all falls under Aurora. She also makes sure to watch for all hijackers and different technical things. So sometimes you have a listing that comes down based on returns. Sometimes you have a listing come down based on a suppressed image or something changes, or you have a hijacker. She goes after all of these things relentlessly. Sometimes we have to make variations. Sometimes we have to get new barcodes, all that kind of stuff. That all falls under Aurora. Now, who falls under Aurora? That's what we're going to talk about next. So the next person who falls under Aurora, let me add a plus here. This is Karen. All right. So Karen is customer service and social. Okay. So when we're talking about customer service, we're talking about Seller Central customer service, Etsy customer service, because we saw on Etsy also, Facebook messages, because we have a Facebook brand page for every brand, and we get inquiries from there, Instagram messages that people write in through the brand pages on Instagram, and also our brand emails. So we have a support email for every single brand. She monitors every single one of these, right? Does a replacement need to be shipped out? She's getting it shipped out. Does a question need to be answered? She's getting it answered, and she does it within a 24-hour period for every single one of these. And trust me, we have a ton of messages that are flowing in through every single one of these. Now, when it comes to social media, she is curating content, right? Content for Facebook brand pages, Instagram, and also Pinterest. We have some brands that have close to 20,000 followers on Instagram. She's got to do stories. She also, when we're talking Pinterest, we have one brand that has over 120,000 views every 30 days on Pinterest. So she also, when it comes to social, is influencer outreach. All right. This will help. This helps get the brand names out there, more eyes on them, and sometimes it runs specials and it really spikes our sales. Okay. So that is Karen. Again, every single person on this team is an A player. And they have a lot of responsibilities, and they do a great job at it. Now, another person who reports directly to Aurora is Jen. All right. And Jen is a brand manager. So what a brand manager does, and monitoring all competitors, keyword rankings, pricing according to inventory. All right. So she's checking the inventory sheet that Erin makes to see like what's our sales velocity that we need to be hitting so that we don't run out of stock or that we don't have too much stock. And then how does that correlate with the pricing? Also, do we have competitors that have gone out of stock? That means we can raise our prices. Have our competitors drop prices? That means we need to drop prices. Have our competitors trying new images? How are they doing with those new images? Has our keyword rank fallen? Do we need to run a sale? All that kind of stuff. Jen monitors that every single day. All right, now we have another member on the team. This is Joanna. And Joanna assists Erin with logistics items. So one of the items that falls under Joanna is remeasurements. All right. Sometimes your standard size product gets measured as small oversized, and we have to get that back in. And once we do that, we need to also make sure we get reimbursements. Sometimes Amazon loses inventory. We need someone to be on top of that at all times. All right. Imagine 5 of your products, when you have 150 of them, change from standard size to small oversized. Now your fulfillment fee is $8 more or something crazy like that. And then you have 1,000 orders. All right. Then you finally get it changed. Now you got to keep track to make sure they're going to reimburse you for that. Okay. She also inputs all new landed costs. All right. So every single shipment is going to have a different landed cost because prices change. Sometimes you order more, sometimes you order less. Shipping prices go up and down throughout the year. We want to make sure we have the most up-to-date, accurate landed costs so we can know our margins correctly. Another area that Joanna helps with is supplier contact also. So Erin will make the order, all right, and then Joanna will follow up with the supplier every few weeks just to make sure it's staying on track. So that is the 5-person team. I am going to add on here one more, and this is PPC agency, all right? Whatever PPC agency I'm using at the time, I'll have in the description below. Typically, most good PPC agencies like the one I use require a minimum of $10,000 in spend. So if you are doing less than $10,000, I wouldn't even waste your time reaching out to a PPC agency. And you should be doing your own PPC if you're not spending very much or you don't have that many products, all right? Again, I would never delegate out PPC or any of these things until I knew for sure I knew what I was doing. That way I could figure out if what they're doing, if they're doing a good job, okay? So this is how my entire team structure works. Let me zoom out here so you can see it all. Is again, we have Tim, CEO, then we have my two right hands, which is Erin and Aurora. This is more logistics side. Joanna assists Erin, Aurora. Then we have down here Karen, who's customer service and social media. And then Jen, who is our brand manager and is even more in the weeds in the forest than Aurora is. I am in constant contact on a daily basis with Erin and Aurora. I don't really have to engage much with Karen, Jen, or Joanna. They already have somebody that they can communicate with. We try to make the communication streamlined so they're getting the information from one person, and that one person is coinciding with what myself, the visionary of the team, is saying. There is a little crossover. For example, Erin and Aurora have contact to make sure they know what's going on. But, for example, Jen is not over here messaging Erin, and Joanna is not over here messaging Aurora, and Karen is not over here messaging the PPC agency. We want to make sure we have streamlined communication. Everyone knows exactly what their duties are and their tasks and responsibilities, and I make sure to pay them well, and we take care of each other. So that's a team. That's how I run a $20 million per year Amazon business. We have 5 people, and we also outsource PPC to an agency. Let me tell you, by having a team of A players, and trust me, the hires that I just mentioned below, they weren't the first hires of everything. I've gone through agencies that I've tried to have run my entire account. I've used multiple PPC agencies. I ran PPC in-house. I've had other people on the team that did customer service who have moved on or we found better fits, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But this is where we're at now and how we're functioning. I hope this has brought you some clarity. If you're kind of struggling with, I don't know how to get to that next step. I'm swamped up to my ears. I feel like I have no time. place or anything to think and to move forward with my business, you have to start building a team, and you have to start kind of like figuring out how you're going to delegate all these different responsibilities. And you can get to a point where if you set your team up like this, I can run a $20 million a year Amazon business, and I literally could go on vacation for a month and not even check Amazon and know it's going to run perfectly. A lot of people say they're CEOs of a company, but unless you can totally walk away like that and it run flawlessly, you're not really working as a CEO. You're kind of in the business and it requires you. So, are you a CEO of your business? If you're first starting out, don't even think about it. Don't even worry about it. Don't feel bad if you're not at that point yet. But if you're wanting to scale and you're wanting to grow and you want to see where you might be in the future, hopefully this can serve as an example, kind of a template for where you can go. Again, I'm probably going to make another video 6 months, a year from now to show you guys how the team has evolved, what we're doing now. But this is all you need. What business do you know? Okay, like if I go down to the local sandwich shop or the Subway, they have more than 5 employees. They got like 8 employees, or the gas station or something like that. They got like 7 or 8 employees. If you went down to a car wash or something like that, are they doing 20 million in revenue? No chance. My team is completely remote. I'm able to employ people in third world countries where I can help provide them a great living. We take care of each other. We're all here to support each other. And they also get to be a part of a business that's a rocket ship to the moon, get to experience a lot of things they never would have on their own. So I'm excited and I'm happy to have such a great team, and I appreciate every single one of them. And if you guys are watching, team, I appreciate you guys. All right, you guys stay tuned. Thanks for watching this video. Again, if you want to learn how to sell on Amazon, start, scale an Amazon business, there's always a link in the description. Go ahead and click there. Check out the case study. Watch the 25-minute video. Book a call with my team and I. We can see if you're a good fit, and we'll move forward from there. All right? You guys take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.